Another dismal performance from our team today in another game where I cannot say that it was a tactical disaster class. I cannot bring up the analysis board and say if we played this sort of tactical formation and these blah blah blah. I can't, because today was just another game of bad decisions, mistakes from players, mistakes from the manager, mistakes from the club in general over the last few years. I'm sick and tired of us picking the wrong kind of players, sick and tired of us selling the wrong kind of players, sick and tired of us buying the wrong kinds of players. We always want to look to buy young, attractive players who get a lot of likes on social media, have a big social media presence, and pick players based on who the fans will seem to enjoy and love, blah blah blah. We don't actually pick players who are good for the team. We sell the players who don't necessarily grab the limelight, who stay under the radar, but play consistently well for us. We've let go of players like Nemanja Matic, let go of players like Juan Mata, Edinson Cavani, David De Gea, Cristiano Ronaldo, even Fred, who, I mean, I was never a big fan of Fred, but looking at the teams that we put, the way that the team has played this season, we are so desperate for a player like that. Now we need midfielder like Fred who can counter press. We don't have that. We don't have energy in the midfield, someone who can dictate and run around like Fred. We don't have any midfielders who can dictate the game, control the game from deep and play line breaking passes, make dribbles through the midfield. Nemanja Matic could do that. Pogba could do that. We sold them both and we don't have anyone who can do that anymore. We don't have a player in the final third who can dictate the game. Juan Mata could do that perfectly. No one in that team can do that. Maybe Ericsson can do that, but we never play him in the final third. Our defense is now weakened. We're conceding 3 goals twice in the last 2 games, conceding how many goals? We let go of De Gea and we've disrupted the whole defensive back line, and now we cannot score any goals and we're conceding too many goals. The substitutions and the teams that we pick nowadays are very, very predictable. I mean, it was quite simple, easy to see that we were going to pick a team like we were today. Obviously it's the Carabao Cup. But what I'm also tired of is we need to see some players and we need to see rotation in the team, and I'm happy to see that. But sometimes we pick good players who aren't playing often and put them in the team with bad players. And obviously, they play badly because if you're in a team with bad players, you're also going to play badly. Your performance isn't going to be as great. And we saw that in the past. We see Matic play with Mata and those who are good players, but they play with players like Daniel James or Igalo or someone rubbish in the team. And because they're playing with bad players, they look bad as well because the other players in the team are not on their wavelength. Today we had players like Garnacho, Martial, Anthony, Casemiro, all of whom should have played well, but you're having players around them who aren't going to do the job, and they aren't going to link up, and they aren't going to play proper football. And when we do finally decide to bring on our bigger players, we take off the players who also have the ability. We keep Mount on for 90 minutes. I don't understand why. We kept Hannibal on for too long. I don't understand why. Why did we take off Martial? And I've been saying for so long that we just need to play Martial and Hoyland today. We lacked Hoyland. We missed him today because we lacked that focal point in the final third. We needed a big target number 9. But I also saw Martial trying to play this link up pass, and I see what Martial brings to the team, and he tried it today. If we had both of them in, and I think Hannibal should have been taken off at 30 minutes because of a disciplinary record, not a disciplinary record, but disciplinary caution, and brought on Hoyland, and then we could see Martial playing in the pocket and Hoyland really trying to go at the back line. We saw Martial trying to play as a target 9, trying to win a lot of headers, trying to hold off the defense, and that's just not his game. And we did see some link up plays that were good, but we needed him. He needed help up there. He looked alone as a number 9, and his performance wasn't good today because the players around him and the way that the team played didn't suit his style today. Another bad decision was taking off Casemiro. I understand he's on a yellow card and maybe he's not fully fit, but why did we take him off? I don't understand why we took him off today. We made the mistake of taking off Amrabat against Man City. Today we take off Casemiro when we should have taken off Mount, when we should have taken off Hannibal. How those guys stayed on for longer than him and played more minutes than him, I do not understand. Casemiro, Varane, these players are experienced players who are some of the best players in the team. All the biggest losses that we've had since they've arrived have been when one of them isn't playing. We need both of them. We need Martinez back. I know Lindelof and Maguire can play a role. I didn't understand why Maguire was playing on the right centre back and Lindelof left. They are used to playing with each other on the opposite side. Go back to having Maguire on the left hand side. It's more comfortable for him. I've seen him play there with Varane next to him. He looks so much more comfortable at left centre back. We need Shaw back. We need Malacia back. Reguilon doesn't look physical enough. And we need to start picking a team where everyone can play football together and who have good chemistry together. We need players who complement each other. We don't need to see Mount and Bruno and Rashford all playing in the team. We need to see Martial and Hoyland linking up. We don't see that combination. We don't see combinations that I actually think would work. And I'm getting a little frustrated now because a lot of people are saying Eric Ten Hag out. Eric Ten Hag has made so many big decisions to get rid of players like De Gea and Ronaldo. Getting rid of him now is doesn't make any sense because we've sacrificed a lot of players for him. We've brought in a lot of players that he wanted, and now we're just going to have 25 different players from different managers, all for a new manager to work with. It's just not going to help. We need to stick by him. He understands the team, he knows the players now. But I do not understand why he cannot pick the right players. It just doesn't take a lot of. I've not understood why, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ranić, and Ten Hag cannot pick the right players. On the goals, the first goal, I think Mount should have done better. Can't let Livermore get by him like that. Dalot needs to be a bit more awake. I think Dalot had his worst performance today in months. On the second goal, marking should have been tighter. Dalot could have done better. Maguire should have cleared better. On the third goal, Maguire has to do better with the run. Has to make sure that Lindelof is aware that he's going to leave the player because there was a bit of confusion. You could see that Lindelof was thinking, okay, I'm going to go with the runner, and Maguire seemed like he was going to go with Willock, but then he suddenly switched and Lindelof got confused. We need to iron those mistakes out, and they're all just little things, but they lead to big chances and goals that will eventually just cost us games. One of the biggest problems I have with this team is that we don't have a midfield. We have like six midfielders: Casemiro, Amrabat, McTominay, Ericsson, Van der Beek, Mount, and Bruno, and Hannibal. None of whom can play line-breaking football. None of whom can play intricate passing football. And it only takes one midfielder in the team to do that. One midfielder who can do that, and we can start playing that well. Because every time, the only thing that I can see consistently the way we're trying to attack is long balls. We're taking the ball and just hitting a long lofted ball out to the wingers, time and time and time again. And they're so easy to defend with because when that ball takes so long in the air, the defensive team can just get into shape and get their position set up with plenty of time. We don't have anyone who can take that ball from the back line and look for the line breaking pass into someone in the midfield who can then play a quick touch wider to another player. We don't have players who can do that. We let go of Matic, and that's his specialty. We don't have anyone else who can do that. I mean, we let go of Mata because people say he doesn't have legs. People say Matic didn't have legs, but he played 2 games for Roma last season. Both of them lasted 120 minutes. I don't understand. People just make up random excuses and random facts that they randomly believe. Oh, Matic doesn't have legs. We miss players like that. We miss players like them. But because they're not headline players, because they don't do 25,000 step overs and score random free kicks or long shots, they just do fundamentals and important basics. And they also have a lot of techers. They have a lot of skill. They're good players. They have ability to do incredible things as well. But more importantly, they just get the fundamentals absolutely correct, absolutely perfect, and they play well consistently. You know what you're going to get in week out from these players. And you have players like Mount, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford. You don't know when they're going to have a good game. You don't know when they're going to have a bad game. And that's going to cost us so many points if we keep trying to buy players like this and select players like this. I think Eric Ten Hag needs to pattern up his substitutions, start picking the right team against. In the weekend, I think we have to play. If we can get Varane back, if we I don't know if he's fit or not. Martinez, I don't think he's fit. I don't think he's even back yet, but we need him back. Malassi and Luke Shaw, I don't know when they're going to get back. But in the front line, we need to play Anthony. We need to play Hoyland. We need to play Martial with Hoyland. And then maybe you can play Casemiro next to an Amrabat or an Ericsson. I think Bruno and Rashford can take a bit of time out of the team. I know they didn't play today. I know they came off. I mean, they didn't really have anything to do. But they've had a lot of these players, Mount, Bruno, Rashford, have had too many chances and they haven't done enough. And the problem is people judge Martial and Garnacho on today's performance when they're not playing in a strong team. They're playing with players who aren't playing well, and you're going to expect them to play well for one random game if they've not played at all in how long. And people will say, "Oh well, this just shows we need to play Rashford and Bruno for all our games." But they've played for how long? And we've played badly for how long? We need to give other players a chance more consistently in the team. I'm just going to go to the player ratings now. A 9 out of 5. Passing was very good today. I saw a lot of good passes and I'm going to give him credit for that, but I should have done better on the goals. Positioning and stuff needs to improve from him. His positioning is very, very weak. Dallo, 4.5, one of his worst performances in months for us. Maguire, 5, was at fault for a couple of the goals today. We need Varane back as fast as we can. Lindelof, 5.5, didn't really do too much wrong, but still not great performance. Regular 5.5. We need Malassi or Luke Shaw back. He's just not physical enough. He's not defensive enough. Casemiro 6 shouldn't have come off. Mount a 4. I don't understand how he played 90 minutes. Terrible performance from him. Hannibal 4.5 needs to get his head correct. I know people say he's passionate, but he needs to be disciplined. Anthony a 6. Actually, again, he's our only promising attacker. He's the only attacker who looks like he can produce something. He looks like he can run at a defense, and no one will ever give him credit for this. I'm telling you right now, no one's going to give Anthony credit. He's just going to get a lot of stick, and it's so unfair. He has played well every time he stepped onto the pitch. He's looked like our brightest attacker every single time. Looks like the only attacker who tries. Garnacho a 5. Not as good game. Not a good game from him today. I think he just had a tough game. Martial a 5. Can't really blame him. Some of the passes were a bit off, but he's playing with players around him who don't suit his style of play. He needs to play with Hoyland and he needs to play with better players around him. Amrabat a 5. Cost us the third goal. Wan-Bissaka a 6. Looks steady. Bruno, Rashford and Hoyland, I'm going to give them all 5.5. Didn't really do anything. Couldn't really do anything, but you kind of need some sort of inspiration from these players, and they didn't really add anything either. Dismal performance. Hopefully, we can improve in the weekend. Hopefully, I can find some sort of tactical analysis and tactical thing that I can say, yo, we're doing this so well tactically, or we can improve here tactically. But right now, it's just we're getting the basics wrong. We just keep making mistakes, keep playing the wrong way. I want to see Ten Hag playing Ten Hag football, some style of play that I can break down for you and show you that this is a fantastic system of play that we're playing, but I cannot see that right now. Before Man United starts playing some tactical football, we just need to get the personnel correct, get the right players in the team, and we can get players who can play a certain way of football and can play that certain way of football consistently, and I guarantee we can start seeing better performances.